All right, so today we are back with another TikTok React video. A lot of this is focused on Season 12, and we're going to start off with Neandra. Once again, they do awesome TikToks. Make sure to check them out. Their TikTok is Neandra_OW, and they say, useless Overwatch 2 facts about Season 12.
On
Good start.
Anubis, there's a wall with a hidden flower patch Amari behind it.
Love
Also
it.
on this map, we can see Temple of Anubis, the old 2CP map, in the distance.
Rumor has it there's teams still trying to get through the choke over here.
Although, if we no-clip over to it, it's obviously very low poly, especially compared to the actual points. Juno's recolors changed the pink accents in her hair to different colors.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't realize that.
The rare skins are named after planets. You can usually tell when Cassidy is going to appear in an Overwatch trailer because the content warning mentions tobacco and he smokes.
Every time.
An alarm sound effect plays whenever you equip either heist skin. When
Oh, that's
you capture
cool.
the middle point on throne, a bunch of warnings appear on the monitor about Anubis trying to break containment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Bastion has this fire engine skin, and his bird has a fire helmet, right? The color of that fire helmet will turn gold and jade if you have those variations equipped.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Little things like this I never notice. I love that. I don't play Bastion either, but I love that. That's cool.
Juno has a semi-rare hello voice
Hamburger,
line.
thanks for the British man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Ash's Dorothy
I wanna hear that one again, I missed
has
it.
a semi-rare hello voice line.
Salutations.
Ah, okay, that's cool.
Ash's Dorothy skin briefly had a different weapon in the shop banner, which might be a future weapon skin.
Oh, I like
we
that.
know Juno's favorite animal.
So I'm trying to ask everybody this. What is your favorite animal?
I would like to encounter a real horse.
Yeah, I can see it.
I like how Arissa's in the background during that. That's great. All right, next up, we have Yo Noah saying Season 12 is looking good.
Season 12 balance update just dropped today, and here are my predictions for how the meta might change. Disclaimer, it's still the first day, so it's too early to tell for
I
sure,
agree.
but here are some of my educated guesses. Now let's start with the outlier, Lucio. I think on most maps, Lucio will still be hard meta. They did put his HP down to 225 from 250, but they made each of his projectiles do 4 more damage. So not only is his kill threat when diving much higher, but also his peel for his backline is much higher because he can dual flankers a lot better. And now I call him the outlier because I don't think anybody else will really be hard meta.
I'm going to pause for 1 second. I do think Lucio will be meta in pro play a lot just because you can set the tempo. But I will say, and I don't know if it's just me kind of like assuming this will happen, but I'm seeing Juno be played a lot more now and no Lucio. It's kind of working in ranked. And I'm not saying that Juno will overtake Lucio in that sense. I do think Lucio will still very much be meta in matches, but in ranked, I do think you can get away with running, if you needed to, running like a Juno instead of a Lucio if you're playing like a Reinhardt. And I'm not saying it's going to be better, but I definitely think there's opportunity for Juno to start to like really get into the game more and more. And honestly, I'm seeing Juno's in top 500 games, win games with ease. And like, the funny part is you don't, and this is very interesting about Juno. Have you noticed that like you won't really notice the Juno in the game? But like when you look at like how they, like their stat line and like what they're doing, they're popping off. So like, it's a very interesting take where you have a hero you don't notice what they're doing, but they're doing a lot. And that's pretty cool, actually. It's kind of interesting. I don't know how to explain it.
That is the part that might come back to bite me, but with the D.Va nerfs and not a huge buff to any other tank, maybe outside of Zarya, I don't see any one tank standing out as the clear winner. So overall, I think that there will actually be a lot of options for different team comps. Now,
yeah, I agree. D.Va is going to be one of the better ranked heroes right now. Winston still wins in that aspect. And if they do end up nerfing D.Va, I think Winston will overtake everybody.
Now that could all be shattered if the Sojourn and Mercy buffs are as good as I think they might be. With Mercy's healing going up from 55 to 60, and her damage boost going from 25% to 30%, paired with Sojourn's primary fire weapon spread being reduced, and now gaining more energy from critical strikes, Mercy Sojourn might make a return to the meta. And if not Sojourn, then Ashe. Ashe was the best hit scan in the game last season. And
I wanted to pause and say Sojourn's better. I don't think Sojourn's back up to that S tier yet. Sojourn does feel a lot better to play. If you haven't played Sojourn and you used to play Sojourn, your right click still is okay. The left click, like you're like the most of the shots you take feel a lot better. But yeah, Ashe, I think, you're seeing Ashe Tracer in pro play too, because Cass got nerfed.
they did not do anything to touch her, and they just nerfed D.Va, so she really might be in a good spot. However, other than
S
that,
tier
I
means
think there will
best.
be a lot of flexibility in the DPS role. Overall, I think the game might feel very flexible to every role, but who knows, we'll see how this ages.
There's definitely flexibility this season. I agree. I actually agree with that. Believe it or not, I do think there's more flexibility this season.
Hey,
Oh my, dude, this autoplay is great. Next up, we got Frogger, OW. Well, a lot of people know Frogger. And Frogger says, thank you, Overwatch team. This has nothing to do with Lucio getting buffed, right?
hey everybody, here to verify this is my... Anyways, this is my cat, right? But anyways, so... Lucio.
What is up with people having pictures of their cats on their desk? Like, you know how Froggers had random pictures? Like, I wish I could have random pictures of my cats at some point. Like, you know what I mean? No, I don't have any pictures of my cats on my desk. Are you kidding me? I would never do that, right? Who has random Polaroids of their cats on their desk just sitting there? Not I.
Now, the allegations are going around that I sacrificed someone to get this to happen. To put this in perspective, I didn't do that. Okay, look at this.
What a good kitty. What a good
You're
kitty.
wondering, yes, I have 5 cats. But yeah, Lucio buffs.
I gotta catch up. I only have 3.
I didn't do anything. I had nothing to do with this. Have fun. Don't let any content creator tell you otherwise. This is the worst patch of all time. This is the greatest patch of all time. Don't let any Overwatch creator tell you otherwise, okay? They're wrong and stupid.
We saw that coming. We knew Frogger would be in favor of that patch. That's great. Okay, we got Yo Noah again. What is the state of tank in Season 12? Or sorry, Season 12. It doesn't say season.
To find out for myself, I played my placement games at 4 in the morning, and I can confidently say that no, it is not. It's even worse. Out of every game I played, there was 1, maybe 2 teams that did not fully swap to counter me. And in those 1 or 2 games where the enemy team wasn't full countering me, it felt like my own team was trying to full counter me. The counter swapping is shameless. I won 1 or 2 fights as Winston. The enemy DPS come out on Reaper Bastion. Logically, I swap D.Va into that. I win 1 fight, they come out on Mei Symmetra. I mean, this is absolutely shameless. Still won that game because I'm just a beast. But my god, if I did not have to try 5 times as hard just to win the game because the enemy's characters were just better. That being said, I can confidently
Point out, by the way, that what's being explained now is the true counter swap. I just talked about this earlier, and what I mentioned about counter swapping is that for some reason people still like want you to one-to-one counter swap. They have your D.Va, you must go Zarya. But there's more to it. Your team needs a counter swap. So this is a true counter swap where they're going heroes that are really strong on the DPS side and the tank side. If they have a Zarya, you don't have to go D.Va if they're not doing everything elsewhere. And players will try to force you, even if they don't play tank. They never play tank, they tell you to swap. Even though, like, the one-to-one tank counter swap isn't as bad now as when they all swap on the other team and then your teammates don't swap to help you. And even if you go the hero they want you to go, they won't help you, and then it becomes a problem. That's where it becomes really frustrating for people.
say that tanks are very strong. And I mean that in a straight up numbers sense. They do so much damage. They have so much health. I can understand why the enemy team was full countering me, because if they didn't, I could just run through them. That being said, the only answer to a character being to hard counter them is straight up just a bad game design, and it is not fun to play. I can confidently sit here and tell you that yes, playing tank characters which are very strong is not fun, at least for me.
I'm gonna be real with you. Let me give you an example. Playing a really buffed Mauga, I can feel that. Playing a buffed D.Va right now, be honest with you, pretty fun to me. If I have to play a buffed D.Va, you know, I have a little bit more fun in that sense. Okay, so actually, I can answer that question a little bit, because it's a good question, Ty. You said, why do people hate counter-swapping so much? It's just a part of the game. Part of that's true. But you say when one team is doing something that works, you swap your strategy to win. Here is the next step, and this is the problem that you run into. If I, as a tank, get counter-swapped, and I'm talking full counter-swap, not they go Zarya and I'm on D.Va. I'd stay on D.Va if that was the case. But if they go 3 heroes like Sim and Mei against your D.Va, and they're running Ana Brig as their backline, just giving you examples of random, like, you know, heroes I wouldn't want to play against, you make a swap now. All right? You make a swap. But what happens if your teammates don't make those swaps? And that's where the frustration level comes in, I think, for players with counter swaps, is that getting counter swap, it can suck. But if your team refuses to make swaps with you when everybody needs to make a swap, as a tank player, you're pretty much just stuck in an endless loop of trying to figure out what will work, and it becomes really difficult to. Okay, this is Gallus saying, invites to join team chat are always almost a request to change everything around how someone else is feeling. Okay.
Swallow. Part 10. Tank is designed to be played out of voice chat. 11 seasons of power creep have burned into the player base's minds that everything is about the tank. When you're in the spawn room, you're counterpicking them. And when you're not, you're throwing every cooldown at them. And when you try to peel or enable your teammates on tank, odds are they'll stay in and feed or not engage with you. And they'll blame you as well. The only positive reinforcement tank gives you is playing selfishly and not communicating with this game's players. It's not worth it. What do you think?
No. I think I love communicating. I don't know. That's just how I am. Chat knows me. I have a monologue when I'm playing. What I like to do when I'm common as a tank is like let my teammates know I have them. And I think that's like such an important thing to me. I love it when I'm on support too. Is like being like, Hey, Reaper, go in and ult. I have you. I can make your Reaper ult be better because I can DM you. Hey, Genji, you have Blade. I know we don't have Nano. I have Bubble. Go in. And I love that aspect of the game. Same thing with support. Like, no, you can keep peeking. I have you, right? That's what I like about it. But like, then obviously, like, there's other parts of like voice chat where people just you know, it's just not fun for people to go in there and have people just say dumb stuff the whole time, right? And I get that part. So, okay, this one's from Overwatch Videos with a Z. Okay, that's how you know it's intense. A Yari is definitely a DPS with heal abilities. All right, let's see. Yeah. Yep. Well, I mean, in all fairness, this is an example that is the range. That is out of the effective range. But yeah, I agree. Oh, wait, listen. You know, I play top 500, and Bapayari just DPSs me the whole time. You know that, like, I will mention this. I'll be like, nothing like going up against Bapayari taking damage. Even though I get the point they're making, Cassidy, like, is more of a mid-range hero. This would be the equivalent of, like, I had them stand 100 meters across the map as Widow, and then I start shooting at them the whole time, and they're like, well, that's a bit of a struggle, but it's it's in the fall-off range, right? I get the example, though. Like, a Yari can make a lot of plays pretty easily. I get it. All right, this one is from Michael Lips. I think that's right. And it literally just says, literally idiots. Okay, this is going to be a good one.
Good evening, Overwatch fans. I am proud to announce right now our next season of Overwatch and the reveal of the next mythic skin, Anubis Reaper. There are a lot of things wrong with what you just said. What? Okay, number one. 2 DPS mythic skins back to back? Really? Okay, what happened to the rotation?
Okay, one, I gotta pause very quickly. One, I gotta say, by the way, the Reaper Mythic, after playing it, is pretty cool. I actually thought it was pretty cool. I understand why people want a Ramacha, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I love the Reaper Mythic. It's fun. Second of all, there never was a rotation. Because let's say that they want to give every single hero a Mythic skin. Let me ask you this question. How could you even do a rotation on Mythics? There's way more DPS than supports and tanks. Let's say they did a rotation, then eventually you would just get like 12 DPS Mythics in a row. You know what I mean? Like, at no point would they be able to make the rotation work. Do they prioritize heroes that might sell more on Mythics? Of course, right? Like, that's the business side of it. I don't think they're going, oh, we do heck tanks and heck supports. We need to do back-to-backs. There never was a rotation. It just so happened there was a rotation eventually. Anyway.
Well, you know, sometimes... Also, the Egyptian-themed Battle Pass, known for archaeology. No Venture Skin? A character that's still...
I agree there should have been a Venture Skin. I've hit the point of, like, when it comes to Battle Passes, that they're not going to put everything themed in there. Like, when we were watching Stargate the other day, I didn't expect Dorothy to come out with, you know, the Tin Man and start talking about, you know, Wizard of Oz, right? But it's still a cool skin.
Does not have a single legendary, by the way. The first hero to not have any legendaries upon release. Also, the first hero to not get a legendary skin, or a skin in general, in the Battle Pass they're released alongside with. And you know what? Now that I think about it, I didn't see a Juno skin in the trailer either, which means that she's also not getting any skins upon her release.
I am going to pause here. This is probably just like a... And sorry if I'm not good with the terminology here. This is probably just like a pipeline issue they're trying to fix. More than likely, at some point, they fell behind just a little bit, and that's why you're not seeing the skins. Now, what do I think they should have Venture skins and Juno skins? Yes, absolutely. But I also think that, like, there's clearly something happening with that, and they just need to get back on track with it. How that's going to work, I have no idea. But, like, that's probably what's happening.
Or in the Battle Pass she releases with. Listen, we're a small indie company. We can't... Run by Microsoft. Last thing. You said that the Anubis skin just had to go to Reaper. Ramatra's concept art was named Anubis, you dweeb! And if you followed the Mythic skin rotation, this season would have gone to a tank. The stars aligned perfectly, you idiot! We could have...
There is no rotation. They never said there were... Wait, maybe they... I mean, did they ever say there was a rotation before I say that? I don't remember them ever saying there was a rotation.
Gotten a Ramatra Anubis skin, but no. You just had to give it to Reaper, the second most useless and annoying DPS hero on Earth that requires no skill. The only thing that would have been worse would have been fucking Sombra. A business needs to be creative. A business...
First of all, their skins are awesome, so that's not a lack of creativity. Second of all, Sombra did get buffed. That's why I had to laugh. Sombra did get buffed. That's why I laughed, because they mentioned Sombra, and I'm like, wait, Sombra did get buffed. But, like, first of all, their skins are pretty cool. It's not a lack of creativity. Just point that out.
Like yours needs to be creative. And what creative is giving skins to characters that don't have any, or haven't gotten one in a while, or whose design kind of correlates with the theme of the battle pass, instead of giving 50 skins to Kiriko every 5 goddamn minutes.
I mean, the Kiriko skins sell. I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, the Kiriko skins sell. I'm just saying, that's why they do it. I'm not saying they shouldn't do other skins. I'm just saying because people buy those.
I'm playing Marvel Rivals. Fuck you.
Well, it's on until December 6th, so you can't even... All right, next up we have Apex Dabby, which I think we had Dabby in one of my games before. Let's see what this one is. Oh, wait, actually, what does it say in general? Apex Dabby says, we're all addicted. Let's see.
This game? They don't. They don't necessarily enjoy it. Most people that are playing Overwatch right now in its current state are not playing it because they enjoy it. They're playing it because they don't have anything else to play, and they don't have the time to learn all of these other new mechanics in another PvP. So they're just going to play the comfort pick and suffer through the pain. And also because they're addicted. So the addiction doesn't help. But
I will pause here and say, I'm going to be real with you. I think a lot of people actually do enjoy playing the game. The problem is that I've kind of explained it this way before. Even I enjoy playing the game. Do I have my moments of, like, you know, memeing a little bit, etc. about it? Like, yeah, of course. Like, you know, obviously I'm a streamer. But believe it or not, a lot of people do enjoy playing the game. And the thing is that it's more likely to hear people complain about the game and tell you how much they hate the game more than the people telling you how much they love the game. Because some people just do their own thing, vibe out, have a good time, and just play the game.
But what else is there to play for most people? They don't have the time to relearn an entire PvP game. So that's why people are playing it. Is because that's all there is. I think it's fun. Well, you are one of the very, very few people that log on and is like, I'm gonna have fun on Overwatch today.
I'm telling you, I think people actually underestimate how many, like, casual players there are in video games that don't even care about balance. Like, they don't give two craps about balance. They don't care about. They just like to log on, play for an hour or two, play with friends, chill, have a good time, and then just vibe. And there's a lot of people that do that. Stats-wise, more players will play quick play than ranked. Like, that is a legit stat. The only time they had it be even was during the Season 9 change. All right, next up we have one from Rorka OW, and they say, needs an urgent rework next patch. What does? Let's find out.
It's annoying because I just don't get Clash. Like, it's completely, like, illogical. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, imagine in Push, you get it like 100 meters, and you know the enemy team walk it back to like the center point to start pushing their bot. Imagine if that gave them 100 meters as well. It doesn't work. It just doesn't. It's like almost like you want to lose the first 2 points just so you have like a massive snowballing advantage for the next 3. It just I don't get it. I don't get it at all, and I don't get how it's past testing. I don't get how anything. Also, the fact you have a 1 in 5 chance is a 20% chance every comp game you go into this season will be Clash. I don't get it. It makes rank just. I don't get it at all.
Okay. Just a little side note here, and I'm gonna make a video on it. I'm actually probably gonna start working on it sometime next week. The way they want Clash to be played is that you play high grounds and around the map, and not necessarily funnel to the point. That is the problem. Is that players haven't had time to play it, so when it got thrown into ranked right away. Keep in mind, I'm one of the players that played ranked right away at the beginning. I think I went 3 and like 14 or like 3 and 10 on Clash. I won every like map, every game mode. I got the Clash. I lost every single one. But after playing Clash for the past week, what I've noticed is that they want you to play high grounds and they want you to play around the map and not funnel to the point. Right now, the play style of Clash is everybody funnels to point, stands on point, and that's it. They want it to be like this back and forth game where like you worry about map control rather than the point right away. That's why it takes 20 seconds to cap the point with just one person, is because they want it to be like this long battle that has back and forth moments. The problem is that when everybody runs it down mid, people struggle. Now, I'm going to give you an example. I think a lot of it has to do with the way the maps lead you, and I've talked about this for a while. Hanaoka does a much better job of letting you know where to go. Like when you play Hanaoka, you go, oh, I should probably go up on this little high ground here, or I should go on the sides, because if I go to the middle, it's going to be tough, right? It makes sense. On Throne of Anubis, they don't quite lead you in the right way. So when you play Throne of Anubis, it's very confusing on where to go. So what I've been doing in my rank games now is I tell people, trust me, play the high grounds. And now I'm seeing a much higher success on Clash, because while other players are still running it down mid, we're playing high ground control. I think what needs to happen is, one, they obviously do need to look into how the endpoints work on Clash, because that's, if a viable strategy is never to push the endpoint, that's a problem, right? But number two, I think the number one thing they need to do on Throne of Anubis is maybe open up doors a little bit more, or find ways to lead players to go high ground a little bit more. It's one of those things where maybe they just need to open up doorways and make chokes less effective, or make the chokes wider. They need to maybe add maybe a jump pad. Maybe like a way to get players to get used to the high ground is just add another jump pad on both sides. They have one in the middle, right? But the one in the middle is kind of like, you don't want to get booped. There's just spots in the maps that if they go through and fine-tune it, I think would make Throne of Anubis a lot better, and then the mode might play better. It's going to take a while. They're just like with Flashpoint Push. It takes a while to understand how the maps play, so it becomes frustrating, which I understand. I'm going to restart this and pause what Gavin says. He said the AE problem is really tough because we have to balance these points not being too easy to take to prevent stomps with them being desirable attack. Yeah, yeah, that's why I feel like I don't really have... I mean, the only option I really mentioned, Gavin, was like the longer like map thing, and we talked about that. To be honest with you, like it definitely is hard for me to even give feedback on how to do the A&E points, because like I see that you've been actively trying to figure out ways for it, but it's a tough one. It's kind of the 2CP issue where like no matter what you did on 2CP, if the other team was even remotely paying attention, they could just stall you out, right? So I get that. I do think the Throne of Anubis stuff though, Gavin, I do like the idea of finding easier ways to get people to go high ground. And then next up for our last TikTok, we have from Ninja Atlas with zero call. It says how to carry an Overwatch. Okay.
So there's a big misconception with the term carrying in a game like Overwatch. A lot of usually lower ranked players will say you cannot carry in a game like Overwatch because it's so team oriented and one player could not possibly fill all the roles of his other teammates. Which is true, that makes sense. Someone on DPS cannot do the job of a tank and a support while also being a DPS. Someone on tank could not fulfill the roles of DPS and support on tank, stuff like that. That's
okay.
100% true. But consider like the situation of a diamond ranked player playing on someone else's account who is a silver or gold ranked player, So if the diamond player is in a silver or gold lobby, that diamond player is probably going to win pretty much every game in silver and gold because they are so much better than everyone else in the lobby. Is the diamond player doing all three roles at once? No, of course not. We said that's not possible, and it isn't. However, the diamond player is so much better at their individual role that they can sway the tide of the game so much in their favor and win pretty much every single game. It's not necessarily like the diamond player is 1v5ing every time, because that's also not possible either. The diamond player also isn't just magically doing 2 times the amount of damage or 2 times the amount of healing or 2 times the amount of mitigation that the other roles would be able to do. But they are still able to sway the game in their favor just because their individual skill is much higher than everyone else in the lobby. That's usually what higher ranked players mean when they say you can still carry in a game like Overwatch despite how team oriented it is.
But like I think a good way to explain, I guess I'm a bit confused by it. The comparison was that if you're smurfing in a lobby, you can carry, but that's because of the mechanical skill. But when you get to like even ranks, the carry potential goes down a little bit. You can still carry and make really good plays, but it's going to be teamwork based. I get what's being said. Like the point of like, yeah, if I'm a GM player and I'm playing in a silver lobby, like it doesn't matter what I do, I probably can dominate most of the time. But like if you're on even playing fields, then the carry potential gets less. But it's been better since Overwatch 1. That's why so it's interesting because one of the number one complaints people had in Overwatch 1 was not having carry potential, so they try to open up more carry potential. But carry potential can be, like, my way of an example of a carry is like, if you're playing Havana and a Widow, we call it the server admin. That's where I see carries in, like, top 500 is the server admin. Like, you have a Widow that just takes over the lobby and you can't do anything. It doesn't matter what you do because the other players protect them. So they're not fully carrying it, but the other players are making it easier, right? So it's like, it's an interesting, I don't know, like, what if the point was to say that you can't fully carry in Overwatch, yeah, at an equal playing field, it takes more teamwork. Yes. As you climb, teamwork becomes more apparent. There you go. Those are the TikTok reacts. Make sure to check everybody out. We'll have all the links in the description for everybody we reacted to today. Make sure to hit the like button if you like the video. Subscribe to all 3 YouTubes if you haven't. Leave a comment. If you want to submit like any TikToks for us to react to, my Discord is where you do that. Follow the rules, all that. You can submit spectators, etc. also on my Discord. We also record these live on stream. You can see the Twitch chat below the webcam. Usually live on YouTube also, so stop by. We have a lot of fun here. With that being said, I hope you have an amazing day/night.